Welcome to another episode of the Multifamily Collective. This week, it is that time of the month again, or the week rather, where you grab your favorite writing utensil. For me, it's always this trusty Toll pen, and your favorite beverage, and your favorite thing. For me this week, my favorite beverage, Grounds for Connection from the MMN Multifamily Network. This is our own coffee roast. And this week, we catch up with Carlyle Swafford, who's the Chief Operating Officer at Department Dynamics, the great Mary and Gwen organization based in High Point. Specific, Carl is releasing a new podcast on the Multifamily Media Network, and he and I had an opportunity to catch up and talk about the origin, the name of the podcast, the topics and guests that he intends to bring on to the podcast, and the angle he's going to take with these guests. And I am excited that it's a different angle. There is a different set of guests that he's going to attract to the podcast, and thus probably a potentially different audience that he intends to engage. And I think he has all the goods to do that. So I'm very excited about launching this particular podcast into the Multifamily Media Network. I'm excited to have Carl on board, and I'm looking forward to the content that Carl creates. We absolutely appreciate it. So this episode, super short, to the point. Grab some coffee, grab your favorite writing utensil, grab a great notebook. There are some nuggets in this episode. Take care. We'll talk to you again soon. Carl, welcome to the show.
Mike, it's good to be here. Finally.
Yeah.
Finally.
Shout out to Fits and Starts. I love it.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Well, I know many people in the Multifamily Media Network have already given you a warm welcome to the network, sort of offline. We're all looking forward to the online version of your podcast. I know I am, but I want to take this opportunity to welcome you to the Multifamily Media Network.
Oh, Mike, it's just great to be here. And look, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to giving back to our industry and people that are either coming up in our industry, they're finding themselves maybe on a plateau. We created this podcast for really the folks that are driving our business, and it's really all site based. You can look at the regional level, and your property management company will go as far as your regional base will take them, right?
True statement.
So regionals carry the flag, and it's important that they're well equipped. I know that we have a lot of people that have experiences in their professional life that they've gone through, and you're not alone, right? Like, we're all experiencing the same things. And so the point of view that I bring to this podcast is I started off in property management in 1990. I've been doing this for, I think my math's 36 years, somewhere in there. And
a long time.
And, I started off as a maintenance tech, and then worked my way up through maintenance. I got my 6-class boilers license. I was the chief engineer for high-rise buildings in the Mid-Atlantic. Then I became a leasing consultant, and then a leasing manager, property manager, and then I became a regional, and then VP positions, and now I'm a chief operating officer. And I didn't set out as a maintenance tech to be a COO. It just kind of ended up that way. And so, when we talk to people, when we talk to maintenance folks, we're going to talk to maintenance folks and talk about what their challenges are, what their successes are. Things that they have done to position themselves in their career. We're going to talk to leasing people and talk about challenges in the market and, the race to the bottom when it comes to concessions. And we're going to talk to managers and how they manage their teams and how they got from leasing to manager, and, the people around them that help position them, their mentors. We're going to talk to regionals. I really want to talk to new regionals, people that were managing one asset and now they have 8, right? And they're trying to figure it out. And the old "be careful what you wish for." comes into play.
That's
And
right.
so now they have eight properties and 8 different teams, and you're not the one doing the work anymore. So now you have to rely on a group of people to do the things that you had done yourself for 5 to 10 years, right? And now you have to let go of that and rely on the teams that you've either inherited or the teams you've built. And now, how am I going to do that? And then you become an executive, and now you're responsible for a department. And how did you manage through that? And what are the challenges that you have? And look, it doesn't matter what level you're at, you're going to have your own challenges and you're going to have your own successes. And I want you to be able to share how you got to where you are, or what makes you successful in your role, and how do you contribute and add value to a team. And I think it's good to have those kind of conversations, and I think that would help others that are coming up.
That's right. I love that you have, it's quite a unique thing that somebody would go from the service side of the business into the COO position. I actually had that same path. Mine was a little bit different in that my service time or maintenance time was actually because I owned a little small portfolio of real estate, single family homes in a
Yeah,
small apartment complex, but I did all the work. So I say I went from the maintenance tech to the COO office. That's pretty neat. But the point I'm making is that unique perspective allows you to sit in the chair of the person that you're actually interviewing. So it's not coming from a, hey, I've never lived a day in the life of talking to. It's, hey, I've lived that, and we're having a conversation that's super real and super relatable. The right questions to ask.
yeah. Look, I think, my intention in my roles as an executive, my intention is to go out and talk to maintenance people and go replace a compressor,
Mhm.
or go talk to leasing people and go shadow on a tour, or
Yeah.
visit a manager and do bills. And sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't, depending on what the workload is, right?
Yeah, that's right.
um, but look, sitting with and look, titles are they're an inconvenience. And
That's right.
like for me personally, like when I want to talk to a leasing consultant about leasing, they don't see me, they kind of see a title, right? And now
That's
it
right.
becomes a bit of a roadblock. And I think it's getting people comfortable and having conversations on the same level. And I think a lot gets accomplished when you can get people to that level. Then there's no difference between you and me and somebody that's blowing off sidewalks. The only thing different between us is each job is extremely important. It's just a set of responsibilities that differ from person to person. That's it. That's the only thing that's different between us, and that and experience.
That's right.
And it's being able to get down or get to a level where you're talking to a maintenance tech and talking about the challenges. And then when you can share those experiences, yeah, when I did this were my issues and challenges, and this is how I overcame it. They begin to gain a confidence in who they are. And I think the more that we get scraped up, the better off we become. And when you realize that you can get up and wipe off your knees and your elbows and then stand up and keep walking, you find that you can battle through these things. And I want people to have a belief in themselves more than the belief in people around them have in them. And you have to rely on your talents, your skill sets. And look, not everybody's built to be in property management. It's not for everybody, right? So we're solutionists. We find solutions to problems. That's why we're here. And we run into the fire of, why'd you tow my car? Why is my renewal so high? My neighbors are making too much noise. I can get a better deal down the road. Johnny's picking on Sally, right? So we have all these things that we're trying to manage through, and it's having the ability to think and act and make a decision, and then learn from the decision, whether it's good or bad. Like
Right.
you can't break a company. Like one person cannot break a company. So you have to take your steps and learn your lessons like all of us did, and be comfortable doing that. So
And I think, something that came to mind for me as you were doing that or walking through that is the answer when you put all those things out there, the answer is not that's because the corporate office said so or that's our policy. That's not the answer, right? It is critical thinking. It's good judgment. It's, hey, trusting yourself because got a good training mechanism or you've had good mentors that have fed into you. And you can just trust yourself. And to your point, you're not going to break the company if you make it.
not going to break it,
Yeah.
and yeah, listen, I've made some big mistakes and I have not caught things that I should have caught. Um, I have put trust in people that have done some things that
Mhm.
cause some damage, and we all go through that. And
That's
so
right.
those are all me. Those are my mistakes. Those are
Mhm.
my opportunities. I don't like using the word failures and words like that. We have
Mhm.
opportunities, and it's what you do with your opportunities. And you're going to make some good decisions. You're going to make some bad decisions. You're not going to be able to catch everything. And you have to trust the people around you that they're doing the things they need to do in order to run a company or a department or a property effectively and efficiently. And um, everybody plays a part. And there needs to be a certain level of understanding when things don't go well, and realize that people are trying to do the right thing. They're just not going to catch everything at exactly the right time. So you have to be fluid and you have to be able to kind of roll with it. So
That's right. Well, as we draw to a close here, the multifamily ethos. I am always interested in how people come up with the title for their podcast. There has to be some inspiration for that. I'm very interested in that. And then if you don't mind, just tell people where they might be able to find out more information about you personally. But obviously, we're going to be distributing the podcast, so we'll make sure we blow it up all over
sure,
social
sure.
media and make it viral. So, how did you come up with the name?
Well, ethos, I think, a lot of it is just principles and practices. It's about character, it's about integrity, it's
Good
about
words.
trust. And, that defines an ethos. And I think there are a lot of people that are trying to figure out how to do it, whatever it is, whether
Mm.
it's lead a team or maybe the best way to hire or interview or turn an apartment. There's principles and practices, and there's a certain way to do things. Um, so I wanted to create a platform that would allow people to walk through their challenges and what they found through their challenge or their opportunity that made them a stronger individual,
Mm.
which adds value to the team and the organization that they represent. And that's what makes up an ethos. And that's how I came up with that.
I love that. I love that. Character is one of my favorite words. And
Yeah,
I know we're all broken people. We could all use a little work on our character all the time,
all the time.
ongoing, ongoing. So I love that. Very much looking forward to your content coming into the world. And I'll be queuing it up in my podcast. My favorite podcast is Apple. So Apple Podcast Network. Anyway, where can people find you directly if they so please? And then we'll just call it an episode here, and I'll say welcome again to the network.
Yeah, so I think LinkedIn is probably the best place to get me
Okay,
right now. It's under Carlyle Swafford on LinkedIn. Um, I also have an email set up if you want to reach out to me directly. It's carlyle.swafford@multifamilyethos.com.
perfect. All right. Well, we will link those things up in our show notes for this episode, so that's just another place that it's out there. Carl, I really appreciate you investing a little bit of time with me this afternoon. I know
Yeah,
you're a busy
excited.
guy.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike. My pleasure.